Hey guys, it's John here at Stivers Subaru in Decatur. Wanted to introduce you to the new 2020 Outback. This version here happens to be the Onyx edition. This is all new for 2020. You got 18-inch blacked out wheels. You have a full-size spare tire in the rear. Really an outdoors kind of geared version of this car that we haven't had in years past and we're super excited about. Come check it out with me. This is an XT, which means it is a turbo. We've now got a 260 horsepower, 2.4 liter turbocharged motor in this car that we took directly out of the Subaru Ascent. That's going to propel this car from 0 to 60 in around 6.5 seconds. The 4-cylinder version of this car, you're still getting around 7.5 seconds, 0 to 60, and that's with 182 horsepower. 80% new components in that motor for this year. A lot of nice changes as far as what that car can do for you, including the global platform that this car sits on now. All our lineups go into that. It's going to make the overall ride and feel of the car just a lot smoother and better and quieter overall. The last Outback was our #1 seller. They didn't want to go too far away from where that car was, but instead take that car and just make it much, much better than it was. So this car is 0.6 inches wider than it used to be. It's also about 1.5 inches longer than it used to be. So you've got a little bit more usable cargo space in the rear as well. A couple new features or some carryovers. We still have reverse automatic braking in this version of the car, and you actually see that in a lot of the trim levels. You've also got a new hands-free closing or opening system where essentially I can stand here with the key in my pocket, come up to the car, maybe some groceries in my hand, back away, and the car's going to open up for you. So it's a really cool feature instead of doing one of these deals and maybe falling over or something like that. In the back, you got this cargo cover, which we've had in years past, but it now will even come up a little bit to give you some more depth as far as if I'm loading in some large cargo and things like that. You can still fold down the rear seats very easily using the handles. Those are going to fold flat for you. If you're ever camping in a car or something like that, that makes it a good option. In the back of the car, let's check that out. You've got vents in the rear. You've also got heated seats in the rear and USB ports in this version of the car. Another nice change they did for 2020, besides this StarTex material that's available on the Onyx edition, with that neon green stitching, this is waterproof, is they added these tethers here that are a little bit easier to get to than they were in years past. You got this flap that folds right down, and these seats are still going to recline for you, which is nice on long road trips. Those are the all-weather floor liners in the car. You'll see that in a lot of the different trim levels as well. Definitely a nice accessory to have. Over here on the front of the car, you've still got the Hawkeye LED headlights. Those are steering responsive in this version. You've got LED fog lights in this car. All that's going to add up to making this a 5-star plus safety rated vehicle. This version of the car even has a new front camera that I'll show you here in just a second. In both mirrors, you're going to have blind spot monitoring. It's going to light up whenever you get someone in your rear, letting you know, obviously watch out for that traffic. You've got a power seat here on the driver's side, power seat on the passenger, and that's an 8-way power seat on the passenger. So it'll raise up and down for you now, that I know in years past I had some customers who wish it would have done that. Inside the car here, besides the all auto up and down windows that we hadn't had, except in the touring model in years past, there's no more lever for gas on the floorboard. You just walk right around to the passenger side, push that gas tank, and it's going to open up for you as long as the doors are unlocked. Let's check out the inside. If you want to come in with me over here, we'll get it turned on. Come on in, check out that new 11.6-inch touchscreen. So a lot of nice changes here. I really want to kind of focus on this with you so you can really see how many nice things they've brought into this car that we hadn't had in the years past. I mean, obviously this is super great. You've got a little sub menu up here so you can see some different pieces of information such as weather. Navigation built into this version of the car, that's all by TomTom. You can do a voice recognition there if you want, simply by hitting the little face on the steering wheel. It'll give you examples of things that you can say to make it easier for you to get where you're trying to go.
Canceling.
There's your home screen. Radio, really easy. You're just going to come in here and pre-program some of these presets. You got 18 to choose from, including XM radio. You get a 4-month trial of that. Comes with all of the new Outbacks. Media, just some basic functions there, whether it be Bluetooth or using some sort of auxiliary port or even a USB plug-in. Or if you really want, if you got an iPhone or an Android, you can come over here and enable Apple CarPlay. So great feature to have in the car, of course. Let me unlock this phone, just a sec. All right, there we go. So basically with CarPlay, you can come in here and display your Apple Maps, if it's Apple Maps, or Waze, or any of those different functions, text messaging, phone calls within the car, Audible. So there's a lot of great apps that you can use right there. Plus you're charging your phone at the same time, which of course is all good stuff. So it's as simple as that, guys. I mean, I really don't have to harp a whole lot about CarPlay. It's really easy to use. Android Auto is as well. You just have to make sure you have that app on your phone if you're using an Android Auto, an Android enabled device. Basically come back here. You can go back to the home screen, still keep your phone plugged in. That can rest here. You got 2 USBs here, and again, 2 more in the back. So 4 total USBs in the car. There is a settings menu in here. There's actually a lot of stuff that can be adjusted to your liking and customization within the car, within the settings menu, including eyesight functions. So if you wanted to come in here, you could, and you can adjust a lot of things to your liking, such as cruise control. You can adjust how that adaptive cruise control is going to work. One of the other nice features with Cruise this year is we added lane centering technology. So that's going to be right here on the steering wheel. You're going to turn on adaptive cruise there. You're going to turn on lane centering here. And what that means is the car will help correct itself, but also keep you centered in your lane while in cruise control, which is a really nice update for 2020. So going back to this touchscreen again within settings, like I said, you can really customize it to your liking. Auto start stop is one of the new features for 2020. That's kind of how they got to the great gas mileage, or part of how they got to the great gas mileage for 2020. So this version of the car averages 26 miles to the gallon. The 4-cylinder, the 2.5, is going to average 29 miles to the gallon. That's an 18.5 gallon gas tank using regular unleaded. That auto start stop I mentioned can be turned off right there. Honestly, I love it. I think it's great. It's peaceful. When you come up to a stoplight, you got your foot on the brake, the car will actually shut itself down. You're going to lower emissions and, again, help conserve fuel in the vehicle, which I think these days everybody wants to save a gallon or two if they can. Again, there's just a ton of settings that can be adjusted there within that menu if you needed to. Otherwise, you still got some old-fashioned buttons here. You can turn up and down the temperature using these buttons. You can also adjust fan speeds here. Come over here, adjust temperature there, sync it up, heated seat controls. So a lot of nice functionality can be right there, done right there on the touchscreen. You've got an electronic parking brake right here. You also have a new front view camera. So I was actually using this while pulling the car in. You can see what's right in front of the car. This is not on all of the Outbacks, but it's on the Onyx and the Touring version of the car as well. That Touring is going to give you ventilated seats, which, let me tell you, in Atlanta in the summers, good stuff. You've also got your backup camera going to be right here when you put the car in reverse. You've got reverse automatic braking still for 2020, which is an awesome feature as well. As you guys can see, ton of new features. Super nice car. I'm really excited about it and glad I got to show it to you today. Please stop by Stivers Decatur Subaru and ask for John next time you're in. Thanks.